Today I'm going to be doing my part 2 of my Dreamcast Rare games. And just like the previous one, I'm going to warn you, they're mostly all fighters and shmups. In this case, almost all shmups. So fair warning to you on that. I'm going to start off with my European ones. Evil Twin. Now this game, I didn't think this would be an expensive game nowadays, because I always thought this would just be a hidden gem that no one ever knew about. This is actually getting quite pricey. I really like the graphic style of it. It's very unique. The gameplay, little broken, not perfect. It's from the creators of Rayman 2. If you want a cheaper version, you could also get it on the PlayStation 2 in Europe. It was a Europe-only exclusive on both systems, but get the PS2 one if you're looking to save money. I actually recommend checking that one out. It's quite fun. Rez. This is a on-rail shooter similar to Panzer Dragoon or Star Fox 64. You can get this almost anywhere nowadays. I mean, it's on the PlayStation 2, Xbox. It might even be on Steam. I don't think so, but it might be. It's very fun. It's entertaining. It's a little different. It's very, with music. I'm sure you've all seen this or heard about it. The Dreamcast version is pretty rare, pretty hard to come by. Shenmue 2. As I mentioned in my other one, I still haven't beat the original Shenmue. I'm close to beating it, but I never have. The European one is hard to come by because it's the only way to play it on your Dreamcast in English. So it's becoming very highly sought after now. You could also get this on the Xbox, much cheaper. It's in full English as well. But the Dreamcast one's pretty cool. Now I'm going to move on to the Japanese ones, which, as I said, is mostly going to be shooters. Actually, I think they're all shooters, really, since I can't really read Japanese to save my life. And to start off is Border Down Limited Edition. This is actually one of my favorite shoot-em-ups, which is funny because when I first played it, I absolutely hated it. I don't know why I hated it. The whole border system confused the hell out of me at first. But once I actually got accustomed to it and got used to scoring and all that, this game is really, really good. It's a lot of fun. At some point I might do a more in-depth review of it, but just know this is a fucking great game. And the price tag, I think it's worth it. This one's worth like $120. The regular edition's about $80. Similar to Radiant Silvergun, I gotta say, this is actually worth that price, believe it or not. I normally don't say that about games once they hit $100. Almost every $100 game isn't worth it. Shikigami no Shiro 2, or as it's known in the West, Castle Shikigami 2. I really like this one as well. You can get this on the PlayStation 2 for significantly cheaper. I really enjoy this game. I find this is a really good, like, almost beginner bullet hell shoot 'em up, as it's got a lot of bosses, it's got a good amount of stages. The character you get to choose from I believe like 6 or 7 characters, and they all play differently. They're all unique, and it's really a fun game. I highly recommend looking into this, especially for the PlayStation 2 due to its cheaper price tag of like $8. The limited edition on this one comes with a music CD of all the range tracks. I don't really like arranged tracks. I always prefer if it just gives you an original score, but Chaos Field from Milestone. This is going to set a trend here because I don't like Milestone games. There's 3 of them on the Dreamcast, and I don't like any of them. Out of all 3, though, this is probably the best, I think. This is basically just a long boss rush mode. You get to choose between 3 different ships. They're all piloted a little different, but I just don't like it. I don't like the way it looks. I don't really like the sound. I don't know. I can't really recommend any Milestone games. A game I can recommend, however, is Ikaruga. Because fucking hell, this is great. This is the game that actually got me started on shoot-em-ups, for better or worse. But no, Ikaruga is a really fun game, and nowadays you can play it on so many systems. Dreamcast, GameCube, Xbox Live. It's on Steam, too. And it's all like $10 on Steam and 360, so that's fucking great. This one is about like $60-$80, which is fairly reasonable, I believe, for shoot-em-ups. But yeah, this is a really good game. Great graphics, good scoring system. Little short at 5 stages, but the stages are fairly long and they're all unique. Really fucking good game. Hey, something that's not a shooter. Lack of Love. LOL. This is a very obscure game. This definitely falls in the hidden gem category. A game like this, normally, I wouldn't buy due to it being in Japanese, but it has very, very little dialogue. It's an explorational game where you have to evolve your character and help animals around. It's very unique. It's very weird. I haven't beaten it yet because it's very cryptic. because you need to help certain animals in a certain way, and it's sometimes really hard to figure out what you're really supposed to do, and sometimes I just got it by blind luck. But it's very unique for the system, and that's for the Dreamcast. Dreamcast is all about unique, weird, quirky games. So that's worth a look. Last Hope. Not the limited edition one. I would really like to get the limited edition one, but this game it's hard to recommend. It's hard as hell and not in good ways. Your ship moves incredibly slow. It makes dodging almost impossible. Another problem is it's very similar to R-Type. You get a little pod on you to help absorb bullets, but whenever you die, it puts you at a checkpoint and it refuses to ever put you near power-up. So if you die, you're going alone without the pod. It's very hard. And it took me hours to actually beat this game, but I did eventually beat it, and not very rewarding feeling to beat it, honestly. I don't recommend it, but I mean, it is kind of hard to come by. Now this game, Lost Golem, is a puzzle game. I've read all over that this game had a really small print run of like 500, but I think that's complete bullshit. Because if you look on Amazon, there's like 30 copies, eBay has like a good 10 copies for sale right now, and it's only worth like 20 bucks. Even if a game really was that low in print run, I think it would be worth more. This game's shit, by the way. It's a pretty crappy puzzle game that, honestly, you could probably play on the Sega CD graphic-wise and everything else. But that being said, I mean, if it's true it really is that many were made, I guess it is rare. Cyvare 2. I'll be honest, I haven't played this one too much. But from what I remember, you get to choose between two different play styles, easy and hard. On easy, you leveled up significantly quicker than on hard mode. Interestingly, one thing that was interesting is your attack mode. You have your standard attack, but if you move the joystick back and forth rapidly, your character is actually going to start doing a barrel roll, and that's going to give you a stronger, more condensed attack. It was pretty. I mean, it was fun from what I played. The graphics were pretty nice. It had branching paths depending on what your score was. So if you got a low score, you go to an easier path. Higher score, you go to a harder path. Overall, it was fun. I enjoyed the short time I played it. It also really encourages you to scrape against bullets for higher scores and to get quicker level ups. That was also released on the PlayStation 2, but I believe the price is roughly the same. Ridergy, another Milestone game. I don't like this one in the slightest. Out of all three of them, this is my least favorite. I hate the way it looks. I hate the way it sounds. I don't like the way it controls. I don't like the power-ups. There's nothing about this I like. That being said, I can't recommend it. It's also on the GameCube. I mean, just because I don't like it doesn't mean other people won't like it. Because, I mean, overall, if you look at reviews, that game gets an average score. So it might just be me. Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo? No. For matching service. Grandmaster Challenge. Street Fighter 2 on your Dreamcast, and for the most part, high definition. The cool part about this version was you could actually play it online with other people. And at the time, you couldn't do that with the Street Fighter game, so, I mean, with that, it was pretty cool. That was pretty fun, unique. It's just Street Fighter 2, really. It's like the most definitive edition next to the HD release on the Xbox. Trizeal. This is another one I haven't gotten too far. I think I got to like stage 3 or 4. One nice thing about this shmup, which I found unique, is you had 3 different kinds of weapons, but when you powered up each one, depending on like if you were using the grenade attack, you would also have the laser and the other attack getting powered up with you. Like you would use all 3 at once, but you would pick your prime one, which would be the strongest. That was a cool thing. Although when you died again, it would all go back down to like nothing. But this is pretty fun, and I should really play it more because I mean it wasn't a bad game in the slightest. Twinkle Star Sprites. This is a unique shoot 'em up in that it's kind of like a puzzle fighter game. It reminds me of Tetris Attack. Enemies would come on your screen, you would shoot them, and depending on how you chain them, it would affect your opponent. Like, they would have more enemies, more shit would fly at them, it'd be harder for them. It was pretty fun. I mean, it was unique. So, yeah, I like it. Zero Gunner 2. Now, if you've ever played Cannon Spike on the Dreamcast, you'll definitely see the relation between the company here. Psychosis? That's how you pronounce it, right? Yeah, Psycho. Sorry. It's been a while. Cannon Spike and this play very, very similar, in all honesty. This is it's like a 360 kind, not the system, like a 360 shmup. You get attacked from all directions. You can change your helicopter whichever way you want. It's pretty good. The final stages really ramp up the difficulty. I actually haven't beaten it yet due to that. I'm on the very last level, but it just starts throwing so much more stuff at you than the other standard levels, which is a little crippling, because I really did enjoy this game. Now we're going to move on to the DVD case releases. Pretty much because I have them in a different spot. Cosmic Smash. This is a tennis game, of all things, an arcade tennis game. You use a wireman. It's pretty fun. It's mostly just a score attack kind of thing. There's a lot of different branching paths. Overall, it's pretty fun. It's not too expensive. It's about on the higher end, like $50, which isn't too bad. It's actually pretty fun. It's at least worth a look. And we get to the last milestone game, Crows. This is probably my second favorite or least hated. Again, I don't really like the way it looks. It's all black and gray. It plays a little better than Raturgy. Music's kind of dull. I'm sorry, I just hate Milestone games. If you're really interested in Milestone, I do believe they have a collection on the Wii, the Milestone Shooting Gallery or something like that, which might be something to look into. But for me, I just can't get into it. I find it boring. It's cool how you can level up your weapons, your melee attack, your shield, your gunshot, which normally something like that really sells me on an idea. I love leveling up. I think it's fucking awesome. But I just can't get into it. Triggerheart. This is a not super unique. I want to say that about them all. The unique feature about this is you could actually anchor yourself onto enemies, in which case during a boss you could anchor on and then you could, all your shots would be focused on them, or if you have a normal enemy, you would actually fling them at other enemies. So if you got like a really big boss and like throw them at a wave of enemies, you get a massive bonus. Pretty short game, but the cool thing is depending on your score, the boss would get harder. So a boss could have like multiple forms, but if you didn't score good enough, you'd only see a few of them. I kind of like and hate that because I'm not too good at scoring in this game, so I really want to see like all the boss forms. But overall, it's a fun game. It's also on the PlayStation 2 and much cheaper on the 360. Under Defeat. This game was actually recently, and by recent I think I made a few years ago, ported onto the PlayStation 3 for much cheaper. It's kind of a combination of Zero Gunner and just a standard shoot 'em up because you could change your directions 3 ways, left, right, straight. It has a bit of a World War II-ish kind of theme going on for it, which is a little different. Overall, it's pretty fun. I enjoy the bomb systems, the power-ups. It does have some slowdown, though, I'll be honest to you, on when a lot of stuff's coming at you. But overall, it's a pretty fun game. And I have the limited edition of that one, too. It just comes with the soundtrack CD. One of the rare cases I own both editions, because I normally don't care too much to own both. And the last few are newer releases. Some of them are worth money, some of them really aren't. You might want to keep your eye on them if you're worried about value going up. Ducks Limited Edition. This one's actually dirt cheap. It's like $30. This has seen multiple releases recently, which is kind of stupid, but this is the original limited edition, and honestly, this is probably my favorite version of it all. I find it's the most balanced. A lot of people hate this game, but I actually enjoy it. It's an indie effort, so I kind of grade it a little bit less harsh, but I found it really fun. I could probably go on for about an hour on how this is fucking bullshit. This stupid steel case. Redux Limited Kickstarter Edition. You got Dux 1.5 and you got the Dark Matters one. 1.5 is just a really, really easy version of Dux, and Dark Matters wasn't very good. Honestly, I could go on forever on how I hate this. It looks like absolute shit, and this is supposed to be like the most collectored thing of it all. Like really, it doesn't even have a fucking label on the side. It comes in this stupid cheap... I'm not going to go on. This video's not about that. But just know I could go on. Fast Strikers Limited Edition. This is a pretty fun game. It's definitely more of a bullet hellish if you set on a higher difficulty. As far as an indie game goes, it's actually really fun. I don't believe they're too hard to come by yet, so you should be able to pick it up pretty easy. I think they were planning to release it on the iOS as well. I don't know if they ever did, but That's pretty fun. That's one to look at for. Gunlord. Another one that's not a shmup. This plays very similar to Turrican or Rendering Ranger. Overall, it's fun, but it has a lot of flaws and a lot of glitches in it still. I think it could have used some more work before they actually officially released it. But overall, it's fun. It's different. I'd recommend a look. Last Hope Pink Bullets. This is a newer version of Last Hope in which they tried to fix some of the problems because Last Hope, as I said before, wasn't very good. It had a lot of problems. In this one, the bullets you could see a little easier. Your ship respawned instantaneously. They changed the stage order, though, surprisingly. Stage 2, they switched to Stage 4. It was kind of weird. I didn't really understand why they switched that. I think it threw off the balance a little bit. Even with these fixes, though, it's still not that great of a game. Honestly, I would still recommend the first one because, I don't know, it just felt more balanced in a way. Neo XYX. I actually haven't played this one yet. This is like the newest Dreamcast game so far. I just haven't had the time to get around to it yet. It looks fun. It looks very similar to Fast Striker. So I have to definitely look into that, pop it into my Dreamcast. And the last one is the second newest release, Stormwind Limited Edition. This game got delayed so fucking much. But it is fun. It's got really, really good graphics for an indie Dreamcast game. I didn't like the power-up system, though, because you would need to have the weapon. Orbs would come out, blue, red, green, and you'd have to be using the right specific weapon at that time to power it up, and you could switch between your 3 weapons. It was just kind of a pain to constantly have to switch between it to get the right power-up. That might be nitpicking. I haven't beaten this game since I've been really busy past when it came out, but it was really fun. It had a lot of interesting enemies and stuff. There was a lot of cheap deaths. That kind of happens when a game starts looking really good, but I'd say it's worth a look. This game's actually starting to go up there pretty quickly in price because I don't know if they're going to re-release it because the company got a lot of flake for how long it took to make. But those are the rare Dreamcast imports that I have. I mean, again, it was mostly shoot 'em ups, but as someone who can't read Japanese, I'm not going to go out and buy like Sega Gaga, which is it looks like an awesome Sega RPG, but it's all in Japanese and it hasn't been translated. But I would love to play that game. Hope you enjoyed it. Maybe I showed you a couple games you want to add to your wish list or something. But again, thanks for watching.